And since we last spoke at the top of the hour, even more schools are canceled for tomorrow as we could potentially get up to 8 inches around here.
Yes, there are a couple of spots where we're looking at kind of that as the maximum, but in 14 minutes time, 14 minutes, we've gone from 357 closures up to now 374. So I actually just saw another ding go through, so we might have gotten about 2 more closings that came in the past 15 seconds or so. But the big thing here is this winter storm, of course, is the one that, at least so far this season, is going to drop the most snowfall. The maximum is 8 inches for a couple of our southern communities. We'll show you that in a moment. But we're making it a next weather alert day. What does that mean? Well, it's not just flashy colors or anything like that. We're actually going to have our next weather tracker out on the roads giving us not just information to drive around, but actually reading things like the road surface temperature. How quickly is it accumulating? How can we forecast, is it going to ice up? Will it turn to black ice on the other side? Will it melt and then refreeze? There are a lot of things like that, the real science behind it, that meteorologist Kylie Miller is going to be taking a look at tomorrow. I'll be in here in the studio. We're going to keep track of a lot of this stuff for you, so you can plan ahead and figure out, is this something that will last all the way into Thursday morning or not? Now, by Friday and Sunday, we have another couple of rounds of snowfall for us to work with, but here's how the alerts break down right now. Winter storm warnings right here for Lenawee, Monroe, and Wayne counties. Those are the main ones that we're looking at. And if we were to pop these ones up again, those are the main 3. They start at 5 a.m. and they go until 8 o'clock. Now, if we pop out the advisories, these are all the purple highlights here for you. These ones go basically from earlier in the morning, around 7 a.m. all the way until 10 o'clock at night. So we do have a couple of spots that are looking at some lighter amounts the further northwest you go, but overall, it's right at the tail end of the morning commute that it really starts to pick up. You can see 5 a.m. right here. Then as we get to about 9 a.m., this is where the morning commute gets tricky. The majority of it is going to be okay, but the last about 45 minutes is where we're going to have just enough of that dusting, that skim coat on the ground, that it has a chance to get a little slippery. It starts to overcome any salt or brine that's already been placed down, and that's where it starts to really make things a little slick. We get into the early afternoon, and that's where it's hammering, and it's just going and going and going, and it keeps going all the way until about the early evening when it finally starts to break apart. And again, this is something that we see every winter. This is not out of the ordinary. I grew up in Dearborn. I know that you get about 4 to 8 inches of snow, you got to shovel it, snow blow it out of the way, and then we get hit again a couple weeks later. We just haven't had that yet so far this winter. So, with that being said, where does that leave us here? We get into a Thursday with cloud cover, a couple lake effect snow showers there, and these totals here by the time this winter storm is all said and done. So 4 to 8 inches in that area where the warning is, but not all of Lenawee County. You've got that warning, but it's mainly for areas about 10 miles or so east of Adrian, back into that southeastern and eastern portion of Lenawee County. Most of Monroe County here, especially down toward areas like Luna Pier, up toward Monroe, 4 to 8 all the way up toward just around the city itself, but not very far in. You've got about that 94 mark as a good cutoff. Once you get north of 96 especially, it's a lot of 3 to 6 inches there throughout the rest of the area. The question mark I still have is Port Huron specifically, all the way up to about Lexington, where some lake effect could actually give you an additional inch. And it's that wet and heavy type of snowfall, and that's what you see right here. It ends up being a little less in terms of overall accumulation compared to it being colder air outside, but it's heavier. We're talking, instead of about 10 pounds per square foot, we're talking 20 pounds per square foot that you have to shovel then, which means one shovelful is twice as heavy as what you would normally get from normal snowfall. But on the upside, it is great packing snow.
There you go.
Great sledding.
Make some snowmen, some snowballs. It's
Absolutely.
great for
Are
that.
you suggesting
kids
a
are out.
snowball fight?
Oh.
Possibly after hours.
I'm going to have my eyes looking over my shoulders coming
meant
into
for the
work
kid- I
tomorrow.
meant
We have to be ready for this, though. I just set a reminder on my phone to make sure I have my ice scraper, my snow brush in the car. I don't think I have that right now.
Oh, we
I don't
gotta
want to
get going.
find that out the hard way tomorrow.
We'll be ready for it. We got you.
We will be. Thank you, Ahmed. We are working on your block.